Oh, well, in a bit of a different location this time for making a movie. Really only experimental, just to muck around with it. Anyway, I'll try and get right into this in a moment. There's a couple of things to say. First of all, I'd just like to thank them. It's nearly heading towards 2,500 members now on this group that I set up seemingly not that long ago. Seniors Card Travel, and of course it's expanded in a sense more than the title. It means travel anywhere in Australia and the world, and it allows talk and information on tours, on accommodation, recommendations for travel anywhere really. But one of the things I would do, apart from obviously thanking everybody for joining, is make a couple of quick suggestions, very quick suggestions, let's say. Number one, it is getting more difficult today to get hold of printed timetables, and I think a lot of you know that. But if you're quite happy with your online sourcing, whether you're talking about a phone or whether you're talking about a computer on the desk, it's more likely to be your laptop. It doesn't really matter. Get onto that, and I would just make a couple of suggestions right now about. There are so many potential trips around to do. And you can travel across New South Wales more or less from one end of the state to the other on the $2.50 seniors card or seniors ticket card, I like. Now, one trip that comes to my mind, maybe for next year, is on a Saturday. I'm talking about from Queensland, by the way, but we'll see how that goes, in other words. Saturday you go from Tweed Heads on the $2.50 down to Wauchope. Now, another option which I would probably end up using is having a half fare on first class and getting car A, specifically asking for seat 17 in car A and getting the whole compartment to myself, as I had the other day. Brisbane down to Gloucester Saturday. Then on Sunday, now there are local buses from, not Gloucester, I'm sorry, Wauchope, into Port Macquarie. Spend a bit of time looking around Port Macquarie, which I've never really been to. Then around 3 o'clock in the afternoon there is a bus across to Tamworth. That takes you a few hours on Sunday, about 4 hours. Monday, it is possible to go from Tamworth across to Dubbo and continue Dubbo down to, for example, you could go all the way out to, say, Mildura if you wanted to go right across the state. But if you did not and you wanted to come from, you could certainly go from Dubbo down to Bathurst. Now you'll do Tamworth to Bathurst for $2.50, which I did the other day. And then now also I assume you have an Opal card. You can travel in, that's on a Tuesday, into Sydney. Now from there are a variety of things that can be done. And one of the trips I have in mind doing is to go on the bus, the Murrays, down to Canberra and have a ride on the new light rail line in Canberra, stay overnight in Queanbeyan. As I say, that's Tuesday, that'd be Wednesday, let's say. Then there's a daily coach or bus for our American friends in particular that goes from Queanbeyan in Canberra, it goes down to Cootamundra. And from there, you can go on the train down to Albury. Now, you can do all of that for $2.50. Stay overnight in Albury. There's a couple of motels near the station, only with 2 blocks from the station. Now, there's a train early in the morning. Now, some people might like to get that. It's about 6:25 in the morning or something. It's a little early for some. And my idea is to take a bus out of Albury at 9 o'clock, which is much more civilised, and you can have your breakfast and wander over the station. And there's even a little cafe at the station. You can have breakfast over there, I assume. That takes you to Seymour, and then you get a train to Melbourne. Now, that's one of the trips that comes to my mind. And there are numerous other trips around the state that you can do. We can discuss in the group exactly where you can go and what you can do for $2.50. Now, there used to be, and I believe there still is, a web page that has, I think it's called Country Bus Travel or something like that in New South Wales, Country Travel, and it has all of the $2.50 fare routes listed. Now, I could try and find a link to that, by the way, and put that in my group there, or just to sort of aid this discussion along a bit more. There are numerous routes now listed. Some are not quite as well known as others, but I just mentioned this Wauchope, Port Macquarie really, Wauchope to Tamworth. That's worth doing. I haven't done that yet, and I just did the Tamworth to Dubbo. That's only twice a week. Both of them are only a couple of days a week. You've really got to look carefully. The only day of the week that it works to go beyond Dubbo, if you're heading towards places like Broken Hill, is Sunday out of Wauchope, Monday out of Tamworth. Now, there are numerous other coach services and connecting with trains and so on around the state. And there's a new service on a Wednesday, by the way, that goes from Sydney down to Griffith. And there is, by the way, that's an evening service. That leaves around midday. That suits some people quite well. It's possible, for example, to stay overnight at Narrandera, and the following morning at a reasonably sensible time, quite late, maybe after 10:30, there's a bus that goes down through to Wagga. And of course, at Wagga, you could go towards Sydney or you could go towards Albury. Anyway, there are numerous things that are worth discussing. I just thought I'd add this little movie in there to sort of start things going in that area, and to also finally say again, I welcome to all the new members, and do start asking questions or putting in your travel hints and trip reports, and tell us where you're going and what you're doing, and offer a few suggestions to other members. And the group is expanding, and I expect it to expand even further, of course. So I'm adding my brief, relatively brief discussions here on a video, and I look forward to hearing from people, and let's take it from there. So thank you for viewing.